Now I'm going to teach you how to tune your guitar. I'm going to be using my acoustic guitar because this guitar is tuned a half step down and it only has fine tuners. I can't tune it up here. Also because most of you will probably be just using these tuning pegs. So I got my acoustic pretty out of tune. Yeah, that's pretty out of tune whenever your low E string's higher than your A. The kind of tuning that I'll be reviewing is just the standard E, A, D, G, B, E tuning. Now, the first step in tuning is to get a pitch of reference. So that could be playing something like the high E, or the B, or the G, E, A, or E. Now, usually what tuners have are A's playing, so that's what I'm going to go off of. So what you do is, first you play your A. Now you hear that. What you're going to try to do is match the A to it. So I'm going to do that right now. That sounds about it. Alright, that sounds just about on tune to the A. It might not be perfect, but it's enough to go off of the other strings. Now how the guitar is set up is that on the 5th fret, whenever you put your finger on the 5th fret, it should be equivalent, like the same pitch as your next open string. So this should be theoretically equivalent to this, but it's not really. So what I'm going to try to do is match them up by that. So I'm going to do my A to my E. I can hear that is just entirely sharp. Always, whenever you check one of the strings, want to check back with your reference point because it can just get way out of tune. That sounds pretty good. Still a little bit out. And that seems pretty end. Now we're going to move on and compare the 5th fret on the A string to the D string. And by the way, I didn't mention this before, but these pegs up here are going to make the string sharp or flat. Sharp meaning a higher pitch and flat meaning a lower pitch. So I'm just going to get back to how I was doing it. So that sounds pretty good. Let's just check that with my A. Got a little bit sharp. And then check it again. And then. And now we're going to move on from the D to the G, which you're going to do the same exact thing. Well, it's getting close. Check back with that A again. Sounds pretty good, and then run through one more time. Alright, sounds pretty good. Now we're going to move from the G to the B string. Now the B string is a little bit different because on the G string, on the 4th fret, that should be equal to the B string, unlike the other strings where it's the 5th fret. I know it's weird. But so we're going to do it that way. So now that's pretty good. We're going to compare it back to that A. Now, just like in the 5ths before, you're going to go to the 5th string, or 5th fret on your B string, and compare it to your E string. should be all in tune. Let's just check one more time. That's about right. You should be all in tune. Just compare the E string. Now it sounds right. And then just to finalize it, just play an open E and chord and see what it sounds like. You might not know that yet, and that's okay, so you can just skip that step. There's also another method of tuning called harmonic tuning. That's the basic theory that your 5th fret harmonic on the lower string is going to match up to the 7th fret harmonic on the next string. But once you get to the G to B string, since it changes, you might have to just adapt and find a different harmonic. But it works for the B to the E. So that's it on tuning. You can tune in next time, and I'm going to show you a couple basic chords. So I'll see you then.